Welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here with our second Project Transalp video, and if you haven't seen the first one yet, check it out in the description below or the pinned comment. The first thing I wanted to show you was all the bits from the bike that I've now removed. Firstly, we have the rear back box bracket, the crash bars that were grazed and dented on one side pretty badly, and it was a pain in the butt getting a couple corroded screws out of that one. We have the big metal pannier rails that mounted the saddlebags. They're again faff to remove. A crashed number plate, broken handguards, those horrible rally lights that were mounted really badly on the crash bars, held on by duct tape, and the giant indicators that look like they belong on a runway. But let me show you what I've been working on once they've been removed. So this is the first of two items I've managed to pick up, an exact copy brake light. I managed to pick up one on eBay for around £28. Great condition as well, really surprised managed to get a used one in such good nick. I've also managed to pick up the exact front left indicator that I've required, considering the bike is completely missing one. Again, £20 for a very good condition indicator here was a steal. Thank you, eBay. So the first thing I've got to do is get this broken brake light out, take out a few more corroded bolts, unclip the connection, and then pull the light out. Following the brake light being removed, we then need to start destroying all these old bolts holding in our corroded, rusty, and frankly poorly treated indicators. When reassembling this bike, I'll be putting in brand new screws and bolts.
Alright, I've actually managed to get, so these are the old indicators for the bike, which are pretty ugly actually. If you can see, they're really bulky, they're not nice, they're all damaged and all the screws are corroded. But now, they're not expensive. I think they're like Bike It Arrow indicators, which are pretty cheap. I think I got them for about 15 quid. They're really, really nice, considering they're carbon as well, but indicators are so cheap, you might as well just get brand new ones anyway instead of salvaging. So these are the new ones, going to fit inside, left and right, but firstly, before I actually fit them, I'm going to make sure they actually work. So let's do that first. They both work, which is the good news. Now to get them secured in.
As you can see, after a little bit of wiring, both indicators work, all set up, ready to go. The next step was just about pulling some side panels off and getting rid of all the big clumps of dirt and grime. I'm not looking to make it spotless at the moment, just good enough that it doesn't look like I've been swimming in mud every time I touch the bloody bike. A little bit of brake cleaner just cleans all the mud straight off, and making sure I don't use my wire brush on any of the metal to scratch it further. I think someone's done that in the past. Alright, now the bike was semi-clean and the new indicators were working and installed, we start by replacing the broken brake light with our new one. Firstly, we'll put in the new bolts, because all the old ones are seriously corroded and the washers were just breaking apart with rust. We all know what they're like. We've connected the rear light up, and even though it may not show it in the video, I did definitely check and it works with the front and the rear brake. We had our final bolts back in and the light is now done. I've started adding the side panels back on now, as for the time being I don't need to access any more of the rear of the bike, or under the bike, for what I've got planned over the next couple of weeks. Again, both panels with new screws and bolts. I mean, how many of you guys have got project bikes and everything once removed is basically unusable again?
As you can see, there's like a lot of like this sticky crap that's kind of like buried into the tank. Now, I've been given this by a buddy called G3 regular grade paste compound, and hopefully that's gonna, get rid of most of that, like a teacup would.
So the G3 actually worked pretty good. It got a lot of the sticky stuff off the tank. Not all of it, but damn lot better than it was previously. So very happy with how that turned out for now. I think in the future I might have to do a tiny bit of sanding and maybe just repaint the tank, because the bike's just been used and used and used obviously and not taken care of, so it's just going to have it. Our final part was just adding the back topper onto the bike with, again, nice shiny new bolts. This will be sanded and repainted for sure though, as what you're seeing isn't just dirt but just a battering this bit of plastic has taken over the last 20 years. Not to mention it's had that horrible metal back box rubbing against it for God knows how long. And we pop on the only great condition part of the bike back on, which is the seat, and I'm still surprised there is literally nothing wrong with it. The seat is absolutely mint, so happy about that. Alright guys, here we are with the Transalp as it stands. So let's just talk about some things that I've actually done to the bike. As you can see, taken off the giant crash bars, I've taken off the back box, I've taken off the pannier rails, I've taken off loads of crap that just wasn't needed. We have removed the damaged brake light and popped in a brand new one as shown in the video. It works really well, and I got this very, very cheap. I'll put on the screen as well what I actually ordered all this stuff for, so you can see how much everything's costing. This is what it actually looks like from the back. Really tidy, works really well. These are our brand new indicators, which move a little bit because they've got a bit of flex, and they are carbon, which actually looks pretty cool. This is something also I have to fix next time, which is a front left indicator. I actually thought it was a headlight to start with. It does work, already plugged it in, tested it works. It's just the brackets are broken in the fairing in the front, so I'm gonna have to find a way out to essentially remake those holes, but it shouldn't be too difficult because it's just plastic. The bike has lost over 10 kilos in weight altogether, which is massive. This bike is actually very heavy. It's front heavy. It's a lump to lug around. Once you're on it, I'm sure it rides fine. But moving it around here, it's actually a brick ton. It's horrible. What am I going to be doing for next time? So next time, these mirrors have got to go, and I'm actually going to list these up because they're in really good condition. I just think they're disgusting. This screen's got to go as well, which has an accessory for an additional screen, which I don't get you guys with crazy screens. I do have to replace the skid plate at the front. However, the good news is the bike runs still. It didn't run for like, I don't know, 2 days, and I was like, oh no, what's actually happened? Annoyingly, that was on. That was it. I charged the battery up, was like, well, it says it's green, it's great, you know, is it a trickle charger problem? The kill switch on this, I know it's a rookie mistake, the kill switch actually turns over when it's on. I'll show you now. Like that. Flick it off. And it works. It will take about 2 minutes to kind of heat up before it stops sounding like an old man coughing, but it does work. I do think the carbs need a clean, which I'll have to annoyingly take this all apart again, but I did manage to put it all back together for now in the video, so that's a positive. So the gear lever is completely bent as well, so that's going to have to change. All of this cabling has got to go. New bars coming. I'm going to buy a new bar for this because bars are cheap and this one is rusted and horrible. I can't get rid of a lot of these cables until I get rid of these grips because it's double heated gripped, but it's old heated grips, you know, where there's like fat ass cables running through, and I hate the word Oxford on grips anyway, so that's going. It's losing that. But the plan for the bike has actually changed in my head because originally I was going to make it my own. Not anymore. This is going to be a restoration, but a cool restoration, you know. I want to make it look a bit nice. I've got to polish up the tank, I've got to fix a few cracks, I've got to do quite a lot of work still to the bike to be able to actually sell it on to someone for a profit. However, it's not far off getting through an MOT in my opinion, because the swing arm looks fine, the rear tyre looks aligned. There's not much to go wrong now other than get the gear lever sorted. Originally I was going to get rid of the centre stand, for example, but now I don't think I am. I think I'm just going to clean it up to the best of my ability, get rid of the rust, get rid of the corrosion, and just sort it out normally. But as it goes, the first couple of weeks of fixing this and learning on the job, little bits and pieces here and there, has gone very well. I've cleaned up a lot of the rust, erased a lot of the mistakes, got all the wiring done, it runs. It's just about fixing the little crashy bits now. It's aesthetic more than anything, and then going through an MOT. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe down below. It is free to do so, helps out the channel massively, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks guys.